the Facebook page as well. So thank you formally, Dr. Atamji, Dr. P.S. Grover, Dr. Charanpreet Singh Chugh, and all the EC members and IDA members. So just a couple of minutes and we'll make the session live, and then I'll formally start. And actually, I never wanted to be late because many of the platforms we have shared the link that, and I'm known that my presentations always start on time or maximum 8:05, whatever time has been allotted. So I'll do that. So just bear with me for a minute or so. Dr. Atanji, please check whether we are live on FB because I've made it live from here.
Yeah, we are live.
Yeah, great. Let me share my screen. So is my screen visible and I'm audible clearly? Please let me know.
On
Thank
Zoom,
you.
it is visible and you are audible very clearly.
Sure.
But I guess on FP, yeah, it's FP is also fine now.
Yep. Thank you. So today's topic, managing profitable income effectively. Yes, Dr. Grover rightly mentioned that where will the profitable income come from, uh, especially when the COVID second wave is engulfed the country in a very, very big way. And we actually have doubled the peak of last time. Last time we never went beyond 1 lakh. We were close to 98, 99,000. And today we touched 2 lakh cases, and it is bound to go more because the peak was expected around 20th of April. So this thing was also in my mind as well. As a speaker, it is my duty to anticipate what might be in audience mind. Yes, profitable income can be managed, but before that, where will the profitable income come from? So that topic is today. So it is not a finance seminar today. It is a confluence of or a marriage of practice management and finance today. So that is why you can see both the say images on the front screen. So thank you, IDEA Ludhiana, for inviting me, although it is my home branch. But yes, I do value the say invitation from you, and it is my proud privilege to be lecturing amongst the august audience. So all my presentations will always begin with thanking the Lord Almighty, who's given me much more than what I deserve. And when it comes to finance, I have to thank my dad as well. Almost 2 years back, on 30th June 2019, he left us. I was lecturing that day in Vapi, Gujarat. Uh, Vapi actually that day had 184 mm of rain, huge for even sometimes in Punjab in the whole season we have 184 mm. But then that was the day my flight got delayed, and ultimately my flight got cancelled in the night from Surat. There was a lot of stuff, but still, luckily with God's grace, I was able to reach back home in time on Monday morning, Monday afternoon, to be in with him for his last rites. So thank you, Dad. What I am delivering in clinical finance is courtesy my dad only. Yes, my MBA help, finance does help, but whatever clinically I'm going to deliberate today is going to be courtesy him only. So this is my brief biodata. You all are aware of it. So just to let you know a bit. So we are all here for this CD on managing profitable income effectively. This is a virtual session courtesy COVID, although it was planned when the wave was not too strong, but then we need to. So we start the year with my virtual session. in Ideal Ludhiana. So when actually we talk about dentistry, we all know it is a business. I call it a business because we may call it a noble profession or a service to the society, but wherever there is a P and L involved, the profit and loss, or the I&E, the income and expenditure, it is surely a business. And like every business, we need land, capital, equipment, all the necessary inclusions. And like a business, we need to give good service also to our patients, potentially also known as clients in that, or maybe customers. So the profit and loss has to be at a right balance. The income and expenditure will make sure that, and if the income is more and expenditure less, definitely will carry home more. The profit will be there. Otherwise, it will be reverse. So we need to understand that there has to be adequate opportunities for profit generation, for income generation, and obviously it has to keep the, say, lamp burning or the practice running. And like all businesses, it is not a one-man show. It is definitely a team effort. And sometimes there are a lot of emotional, sentimental, and other kind of scenarios we face during running our practice. We have our bad days, bad hair days in the office as well. Sometimes even after our best of efforts, we are not able to actually uh, say yield good amount of results in our practice. So today's session is like a story. I'll be weaving a story around the session. If you pay full attention and you stay till the end, you'll find all the dots connected and joined together uh, at the end of the session, surely. So life is hard. Being broke is hard. Being wealthy is hard. You have to choose your hard, which exactly it is. Winning and failing both are hard as well. So you need to understand that your hard might be different from other one's hard. So like as we say in relationships, marriage is hard and divorce is also hard. But then you choose your hard. So today we'll have a marriage. As I said, it is a confluence of session. Today we will have a marriage of finance and practice management, although these are interconnected. And the third sibling, medical legal as well. People ask me, why do you speak on these three topics? There are a lot many you speak on. I started speaking, my first topic, what I spoke was actually on biomedical waste management in 2007. Then my next topic, which I spoke upon in 2008, was computers in dental practice. So again, after my MBA is finished, I actually applied all those things in my practice, which gave me a bigger amount of success. So at the end of the day, we all want to earn money, and practice management strategies actually let us say develop those skills, marketing wise or say professional wise, which make us earn more money. But sometimes in a zeal to do that, we cross on the wrong side of the law. That is where the role of medical legal ethics comes in. It tells us to tread the right path so that we don't dwindle from our path. And then lastly, if you earn that money, earn it rightfully, earn it legally. If you don't use that money, if you don't make that money grow into more money, you are actually wasting all of your effort. So that is the reason how these three things are connected automatically actually. So we may or may not like, but this is a made in heaven relationship of finance and practice management. So how to actually find the link between the two? So there is no other better option than the Mr. Finance, as we call him, the great Warren Buffett. So I'll be actually using his financial quotes to apply in dentistry to derive profitable income first before we invest the same. So I hope, Dr. Grover, you take that point has already been taken care of here already. So we have to derive that income first and then we invest that. So who is Warren Buffett? For people who don't know, actually, 1930 born American investor, American businessman, American magnate, who actually is one of the world's richest person. His assets are close to $80 billion. So his quotes are famous all over in the finance industry, and I'll be sharing a lot many of them throughout the presentation, right from the start till the end. And if you pay attention, you'll, as I said, you will find all the links joining together. So on earning, he said, never depend on single income. Make investment to create a second source. So what exactly can be your second source? We'll discuss that, of course, in the finance part. So I always say dentistry is and should be our primary income. And because we actually have spent a lot of our careers learning that trade, mastering that trade, and ultimately earning out of that. So I won't advise you to actually jump into stock market, and people want to do that to make a fortune overnight. There are only very few who actually struck fortune in stock market. The others did not. The others failed badly. So if I am myself, even after doing so many things, still doing 8 hours of practice, clinical practice even till date, again, COVID times discounted. So why would I advise you to change your profession and jump into something known as finance? If I'm doing these things, this is part of my CSR. This is part of my, say, hobby. This is part of my interest in this, in these professions, separate professions which I'm dealing with, and they're obviously direct linked with the dentistry part. So we need to excel in dentistry. That is a no-brainer. I will not be telling you to shun away from the dentistry approach. But then there are times when we have bad days, or we are, say, the same four walls of our clinic become monotonous for us. And then we want to take a break sometimes from our clinic as well. So what can be our second income? Think about it. I'll come to this in the finance section. So on savings, Warren Buffett said, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. So what does this mean? We hardly think of savings. Saving first pays rich dividends later. And only thing is consistency. When you keep on doing the thing disciplined way, in a regular way, you will actually end up with good amount of funds. But then you have to make sure that you maintain your lifestyle. Of course, not the lavish one. I'm not saying there are actually two concepts over here. Either you live life king size and end up as a pauper in your retirement, or do the vice versa as well. But there has to be a balanced approach in that. You don't leave your existing lifestyle, which may be more than reasonable. I don't tell you to adopt a frugal approach, but you can go about adopting that and then still save for your future. But when it comes to dentistry, we actually get obsessed by the Facebook University, the FOMO approach. There's a lot of white lines we fear. You might be a surgeon, for example. Your forte might be surgery, but a lot of cases, majority of cases shared on internet are actually on endo or root canal. We sometimes get obsessed with that. Yes, let's invest in this. Probably the zeal to get more name and fame, probably to get more famous, probably to actually venture into that line which we are not, and leaving our forte behind, we venture into that. FOMO is fear of missing out, that everybody is doing that thing. Maybe if I don't do, I'll be left behind. We need to understand that every specialty has its own place, and then we have to invest as per our specialty, or for the specialty we have the patients for. Remember, these two things are the first criteria, of course, followed by other factors like return over investment and all those things which have to be taken care of. So when it comes to taking risk, he says never test the depth of the river with both the feet. Keep 1 feet on the boat and 1 feet inside the water just to check the depth. So when it comes to dentistry also, it will be, say, into those investments that we actually sometimes make. Just go back 9-10 months back, or maybe 1 year, lot of gadgets being promoted as anti-COVID medicines or anti-COVID gadgets, you can say. A few of them actually became redundant. They are no longer being used. The only thing was a FOMO approach again. We should not be left behind, and we should not be the ones to miss out on patients. Similarly, financially, when we say read the offer document carefully before investing, because every investment has some inherent risks. We listen this line on the TV so many times. Every time a Sachin Tendulkar ad for mutual fund comes, or for any other celebrity, the ad comes. But actually, how many times have we read the offer document and not invested on hearsay alone? We do that. We just call our friend, यार तूने किस फंड में पैसे लगाए थे, मुझे बता दे, मैं भी इन्वेस्ट कर लूं. Similarly, ये मशीन अच्छी है, तूने चला के देखी, अच्छी है, ले लूं मैं भी. That is the way sometimes our purchases go in dentistry as well. Why I'm talking about these things in dentistry is because these are going to eat up into your savings. You need to maintain a balance here also. Why the balance is important here? Because the amount which could have gone into your savings for your retirement or planning for your future, the amount you wasted on a gadget which will be redundant or will be hardly used in your practice. And all such decisions will have a profound effect on our corpus. So always think before you buy. Do not suddenly jump into making a rushed purchase. Then on investment, do not put all eggs in one basket. As they say, never go into one investment plan. सिर्फ FD में डाल दो, सिर्फ real estate ले लो या सिर्फ stock market, all are a bad idea. You have to diversify. The goal is simple. You have to check the suitability of each investment for yourself in your clinic as well. Whether this will be useful for you, whether you actually have the patient for such specialty walking into your practice. Detractors will say that you first buy a gadget and then make patients for it. I actually differ from this concept. Always take professional advice, because ultimately the goal is very simple: to beat inflation by earning maximum legitimate income out of your investments in finance and in practice management or in dentistry, to earn maximum by utilizing all our resources or maximum possible resources. If certain equipment is just occupying space, it is actually say a big headache for you. It is not being used, it is being decreasing in value courtesy depreciation, and you get frustrated seeing that gadget again and again कि मैंने इस पे इतने पैसे खराब किए. So remember, always take a professional advice whenever you have to buy such things. Then on expectations, honesty is a very expensive gift. Do not expect it from cheap people. And this thing has a dual influence. We want to be honest in our profession, but sometimes we don't say encounter dealers, lab guys, or even staff sometimes who are honest. It will not always, may not always be returned by honesty. So we have to lower our expectations and also be watchful to keep guard against such people who are dishonest. And on the contrary, if over a period of time your staff or the people around you, courtesy even your lab guy or your dental dealer, turn out to be honest, then value their approach and nurture them carefully for longer run, because it is the relationship in the dentistry which actually will matter. And the same thing applies to your patients as well. When you're going to say value your patients for their honesty, value their patients for their commitment to your clinic. So past is a waste paper, present is a newspaper, future is a question paper. Come out of your past, control the present, and secure the future. So the key in life is always to learn from your mistake. And this holds true in your practice also, in your profession also. Sometimes I've just given an example here for spending. When we try to invest in our practice, there might be two types of spending: cosmetic spending and necessary spending. Cosmetic spending might be which actually will be like a show off, to show off to the patient that we have the latest furniture, we have the latest gadgets, which might not be used actually. But in the initial stages or maybe in the middle stages, when we are actually trying to control keep a tab on our expenses, we better ought be delaying such expenditure. Again, all those things come via a priority order. You need to prioritize on the go. Whether it is management, whether it is finance, whether it is your life, prioritization is one of the most important aspects that will go. Then the necessary spends are always important. So people actually go by the FOMO approach sometimes and try to say take a bigger loan than whatever they can afford or whatever their capacity is, and that results in a negative cash flow right from the start. So the key is the balance, both all in life, practice, and profession. So then price is what you pay, value is what you get. So what is the correct price for your services in clinic? It is always a question of dilemma. Fortunately, in IDA Ludhiana branch, we are lucky that our IDA, EC, and the president and secretary came together to set the minimum charges price list. And we started on Doctors Day 2019 during COVID. And we were actually able to say, set a tab for our pricing that the same has to be there. So whenever you do the same thing in your practice, you should remember that you are not going to underprice your treatments. You have to build up the value. You might lose a few patients occasionally. Build up the value slowly but gradually. If you can't value your practice, nobody else will. So you have to build your practice slowly. So it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you will do things differently. We all actually work every single day to build up our reputation slowly and steadily. And in this professional journey, we have to be really conscious of our conduct, both personal and professional. So we have to be very, very in our communication with the patient or in our other actions which you are doing. Remember, none of your actions should be based on pure greed, hate, or confusion. It is a very thin rope. We have to walk it very tightly across, and we cannot be very skeptical or very say very ill conscious about it. Then it is better to hang out with people better than you. Pick out associates whose behavior is better than yours, and you will drift in that direction. We should never hesitate to mingle with peers who are seemingly professionally better than us, or you, which you know that they are better skilled than you. There should be no ego while such interaction with such colleagues, because you will always learn out of any interaction. And don't try to show off by being loud or being interruptive in the way. And if you listen calmly, you can get a tip or two which actually will be beneficial in your practice, and ultimately it'll give you profit only in your practice. Sometimes we realize that one small tip was given by one of our colleagues, we all remember it, and that actually turned your fortune sometimes. So this is actually the way we should go about it. Then don't hesitate to ask questions, because they might bring positive results. So this was actually all about the practice management part, and the Warren Buffett quotes uh, applied on in the practice management approach in dentistry. So what about the dentist financial quotient? Now, warming up the discussion a little bit and coming to the main topic for today, slowly but steadily. But as I said, if you keep sticking till the end, you'll have a lot of things to carry back home. So we actually, most of the times, if you ask dentists, what is your financial quotient? They hardly bother. They feel बहुत complicated है, मेरा काम थोड़ा ना है, मेरे पास time नहीं है, मेरे पास बहुत patients हैं. The only thing is that sometimes actually they have earned money, which gives them a false sense of security, which makes them believe that yes, मेरे पास पैसा तो है ही है, चिंता की क्या बात है. They don't realize that you can invest only in white. You cannot invest in black, irrespective of how much you have. It takes an exercise like a demonetization to actually shake you up. Not that it is going to happen again, but you never know. So to learn about the financial quotient, let's look at the dentist slate. Sometimes our playbook, financial playbook, is blank. There are no strategies to create, manage, and wealth. I talk with colleagues many a time. They say, सर मैं पैसे इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, क्यों कर रहा हूँ, काहे को कर रहा हूँ, मेरे को कुछ आइडिया नहीं है, मेरे पास कोई गोल्स नहीं है. They need to understand, they need to keep goals. For example, for a dentist who is young in age, 26 to 28-year-old, graduated or post-graduated, what would be his ultimate aims? Immediate aim would be, a few of them would be, maybe to open up the clinic, get married, either of the two happening at the same time, or maybe one just beyond the other. All these will follow, both of them will follow each other. Once these two are accomplished, then the next step comes bringing a child into the family, maybe 3 years, 4 years, 5 years later, bringing a child into the family. Then the next, the child going to the school at the age of 3 or 4 years. Then maybe bringing a second child into the family, maybe clinic growth and expansion. For the elder child, higher education. So similarly, every 4-5 years, you are going to have some goals. You need to realize that actually these goals are the foundation for your saving and for your investment. Because the way you actually go about this task of planning will decide your retirement future. And sometimes even high earning dentists will not make good decisions, because it is actually not a part of our education system. So today's CD is all about implementing those systems and also guarding against unplanned financial risks. So the whole story is that we actually miss the big picture. And the big picture is growing personal wealth as a dentist. वेदर फोरकास्ट देखते हैं ना हम लोग, तो बड़ा शॉर्ट टर्म देखते हैं. परसों बाहर मैंने जाना है, परसों मेरा फंक्शन है, परसों व्हाटएवर इवेंट आई हैव, बारिश तो नहीं है, कोई और प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है. वी लुक एट दैट फोरकास्ट. या लेट्स सपोज आई हैव टू गो टू द अदर सिटी, आई चेक द फोरकास्ट फॉर दैट सिटी एज वेल. Sometimes we check it for a longer period, maybe for a larger territory if we are about to travel. But when it comes to finance, the approach has to be hypermetropic and not myopic. It has to be wide angled. It should not be short term, because there will be many strategies which will actually develop over the course of our career, which will shape our, say, retirement planning. And whatever, sometimes we make initial transaction कि मैंने इतना इन्वेस्ट किया था आज से 5 साल पहले, कोई रिजल्ट नहीं मिला. We actually sometimes realize that मैं उसमें भी किया था, एक मैंने इन्वेस्टमेंट उसके कहने पे स्कीम लिया था, it hasn't actually grown. The wealth curve is not very friendly. What I should be having after 10-15 years of practice is not actually, say, concomitant with my status symbol. The only thing is that we actually delayed our investments. We didn't actually envisage that we are going to retire also sometime. We will not be at our peak sometime, always. Kids will go for higher education, and education is not cheap. We will have loans also if we are taken for growth and expansion. And we try to flaunt out and take a big Mercedes as well sometimes. We actually choose to delay. And सबसे बड़ा gift जो lose हो जाता है उसमें time. And time is what matters, which will never come back, because time decides the value of your corpus, which is going to grow and which is going to actually grow multifold or manifold in such cases. And what does time do? It actually compounds, and compounding happens to those only who pay themselves first. So again, Warren Buffett had a quote. He said, well, I think the biggest mistake is not learning the habits of saving properly, because saving is a habit, and then trying to get rich quick. That is what most of the professionals like us do. We lose out on the time, and then we try to jump into the stock market, thinking that we'll be lucky and come out unescaped and with a lot of wealth, which actually is not a get rich quick scheme. We need to understand that. The only thing is that sometimes our growth plans might not be similar to our colleagues. We need to understand our situation is unique. Somebody who's passed out with me, my batchmate in my college, might have different goal plans. I have two kids, age 14 and 4. He might be having kids, age 17 and 15. So his immediate goal would be kids higher education for both. My case, higher education for one in 4 years, maybe going to the school for the first one or for the second kid. So this is the way the scenario changes. For the younger one, I can block the money for 12 years or so, 13 years. For the elder one, I can't block it for more than 4 years. I'll be needing some money for her higher education, and then maybe marriage 7 years later than that, at the age of approximately, let's say, 25, just to give you an example. So these are the things which will actually decide your goals towards your liabilities in such cases. I'm not trying to, don't get me wrong, these are our responsibilities, but financially they are the liabilities which we are supposed to pay. And we all know that dentistry is a physically demanding profession. We are not going to be at our same peak throughout our career. And worldwide data says 1 in a 4 chance of becoming, the dentist has a 1 in a 4 chance of becoming disabled. And sometimes, and more so happens in Western world. So that is the reason where we say that a disability insurance along with term insurance is a must for the dentist. Of course, I'll be dealing that in the finance section. So the longer one waits to save, the greater your risk of financial failure is, because you will actually try to invest then in those return based investments which are going to give you 15%, 20% factorally. You will factually, if I may say so, you will want that अब time कम है, 5 साल में double करना पैसा. So this is the way. And when a scheme or an investment is based with a 15-20% return, it carries a big amount of risk as well. So you need to say balance the risk and the return equally. And people, dentists or doctors who are financially successful, they actually know that where should my money go relative to where it goes now. They decide it at the early stage of their career. Maybe they have guidance, maybe they have a good company. And the dentist who actually pays himself first, that should be the bottom line, has a greater chance of reaching financial freedom before running out of time. Time will be the biggest variant in all our discussion today. So we all know dentist goes through 5 stages of career. So whichever stage you are, it will depend upon that whenever you start investing. So I hope my this part of presentation, the second part, does not confuse you. If it does, let me come to slightly more practical part, because when we are working through the financial trends, it actually will create a good forecast for the rest of our life. Otherwise, the dark and the dingy sides is always there. And we need to understand that certain strategic decisions can give us a lengthy career and lifetime in mind. And so financial decisions should not be done haphazardly or foolishly. Our education system is such that doctors are not actually taught about finances. So that is the reason we fail to decipher between a good investment and a bad investment. And we get actually misled by sometimes our patients also, who actually try to sell off policies some of the times which are redundant for us, which may not be good for us in the longer run, but making us say believe mentally that yes, we are secure because we bought such policy. The how is another issue for another day altogether. So how do you actually say implement those systems and also guard against financial risks? So let me give you a few decision making tips today. As I said, a little bit of practical part, and once you start implementing them, you will accumulate, manage and protect wealth over a period of time. So what are those actionable strategies? Pay yourself first, a thing which I have repeated twice just now. Saving income into diversified portfolio. Diversified portfolio means you actually invest for different sorts of investments depending upon your risk taking ability. Some would invest in a 5.5% FD along with a PPF, along with some amount of gold, some amount of real estate, and a little bit in mutual funds, and maybe a part some in stock market. So they try to diversify it in different way. So what is the exact percentage which you are going to do or going to say implement in your practice or in financial practice decides your retirement future. Of course, I'll be giving you a formula at the end. So the only criteria would be the time, as I said. So invest starting at the youngest age possible, because the longer you stay invested, the heavier and the heftier corpus you will have. And money makes the mayor go. Then the second actionable strategy will be always know where your money should go. As clinic owners, we ought to know this. We have to say optimize our say patient revenue part, collections, expenses, major and minor both. We know the mandatory expenses can't be missed, can't be skipped, so they should not be delayed as well. But the unnecessary ones have to be managed in a proper manner. Sometimes the loans taken up during the opening of clinic, which have to be paid on priority. Then sometimes loan taken just during post graduation, which has been done just before opening up the clinic. Some unofficial EMIs from dealers or companies. You buy a CAD cam, you buy a microscope, you buy a RVG, you do an EMI with your dealer. So it can be different way. Then the regular salary of the loyal staff, it should not be delayed, COVID or non-COVID times. Dealer and lab payments again have to be in priority. So these are some of the expenses where the money has to go actually. Then the third is always know where your money does go, where it should go and where it is going actually. You should know these are two different points and two different things. Our actually finances are directed in a wrong direction sometimes, and we actually have no idea where is the leak. We need to understand expenses or overheads are usually the key where the most of the tricky thing happens. Remember, just reverse this scenario. If you can plug the loopholes, you can get rid of or weed out the unwanted expenses. And what does that mean? You carry home more profit. And when you have more profit, you can play with that money in either way. Obviously, you can spend it on your luxurious lifestyle, or you can invest for your better future. Again, the choice will be yours at that stage. But remember, it started from plugging a loose, say, loophole. And a small leak can sink even a big ship like Titanic as well. We all know it. So, what are the financial matrices which it should actually keep track? The incoming and the outgoing of your dental practice. So, keep track of those things. The overheads. Some of the incidental ones can be your maintenance or your say much maybe out of the turn needed dental materials, cost of renovation sometimes, and increment and bonus to staff or associate people with the clinic during festival time. When you merge these overheads or incidental expenses with your regular routine and fixed monthly expenses, sometimes they'll cost you a bomb. And they will again, what will they do? They will eat into your expenses and eating away your profits. And once your profits are eaten up, you will have lesser to invest. So Warren Buffett is one quote which was not there. I put it intentionally here because it was relevant over here on spending. If you buy things you don't need, soon you will have to sell things you need. So you have to be very careful about the spending part. Always keep a track of such overheads. Don't neglect them. Try to minimize and clear all the dues regularly, which will actually help you in saving, which will help you sometimes in say foregoing the extra charges which might be laid on certain things, plus gives you a good night's sleep if it decreases your stress levels as well. Then align your financial priorities, needs and wants, and savings. In my many of the YouTube videos, I have given the formula. The standard formula followed all over the world is 50-30-20 from your net income, not the gross. Once you are done with the clinic expenses, let's suppose rupees 200 was your income or your gross income or your total collection, your even the presumptive system allows you to take expenses at 50%. So that means your 100 rupees would be take home. Out of that 100 rupees, 50% goes to your income needs. Income goes to your needs, and needs here means actually your cost of living, your bills, ration, grocery, whatever it is. Then 30% goes to your wants, which means it goes to your uh, lifestyle, movies, vacation, dinner, whatever you can say. Luckily, in COVID times, such wants are decreased, and then 20% goes into your savings, which actually for a dentist the formula is redundant. I say for professionals, for a layman they say 10% of your gross income. That means 20 rupees out of 200. 200 was the gross income we supposed. Similarly, if you are doing 20% of your savings, you are actually doing it at 10%. 10% is the rule for the lawman. For a professional doctor and a dentist, minimum 20% of the say gross income should be of the net income should be going uh, into your this thing, into retirement corpus. Sorry, 40% of the same should be going to that. For that, I made a modified formula which goes by my name. I've discussed it many times in my various YouTube videos. The 50-30-20 can be modified into a formula of 45-15-40. So 45% goes to your needs, 15% goes to your wants, and 40% goes into your savings for your retirement corpus. We all can follow this formula given by me because luckily for us, our wants have been curbed by Mother Nature. Whatever we can say, we might be lucky or ill luck, say with a ill luck. But what is important here is that we need to understand that yes, in adversity sometimes lies a good fortune. COVID has been bad in many aspects, but trust me, it has been good in many aspects as well, only if we try to look at the brighter side of the same. Then the fifth says that be wise and calculative in your personal spends. Actually, the dentist thing contradicted to this in a different direction. As a general rule, you shouldn't be splurging much on your say lavish lifestyle. Before that, you need to make sure that your EMIs are done with, all your loans are taken care of, and all your liabilities have also been taken care of. So be wise in your personal spends. Then make peace with your money spending capacity or how much you can afford to spend. We sometimes live a frugal lifestyle or a life of a pauper sometimes during the college, cutting corners sometimes. But then they say you can't eat Maggie noodles to survive and to save aggressively. How come? I'm not saying in any way to actually compromise on your lifestyle, but then you need to realize that yes, that aspect of saving is also important. Unless you manage that, again, one should not invest in property only, because sometimes we need to understand and look at the long term aspects. I'll be giving you a tip in the end on property as well. So keep make peace with your spending power, because we all know famous actors, sportsmen, or other personalities. Recently, India's richest Indian's brother, we know, he filed for bankruptcy. How? No check on spendings, because we need to respect the money and show no arrogance towards it. If we do that, we are actually going to dig a grave for ourselves. And we need to understand that which certain things which are beyond our capacity, they should actually not increase our financial burden. Then properly align loans with the debt payment ratio. What I believe, that not more than 40% of your gross income should go into debt. That means 20% of your net. Because if it is going there, you have to cut corners from either your needs or wants or retirement corpus. Nobody can cut the needs, because those are inevitable. You can't make your kids eat Maggie noodles each day. Then wants, we don't want to cut. Again, COVID times discounted. Think about the normal times. We don't want to cut actually. नहीं यार, थोड़ा सा तो लाइफ अच्छे से जिए. So where does the cut come? The cut comes in the retirement saving part. वो बात नहीं, बहुत जिंदगी पड़ी है, कमा लेंगे. That is the approach actually, which makes us go to wrong path of not saving. Remember, one debt less will take out one complication from your life. So make your life debt free, because credit is spending of tomorrow's money today. If this line resonates with you, trust me, you are on the right path. Then take a comprehensive approach to investment. The first approach should be security, then should be luxury. We actually do the reverse. पहले लाइफ को सजाओ, आज में जियो, कल की कल देखेंगे. We need to realize we will not be having any pension in our old age or whatever time. Why do we look at that old age? Why can't we retire early? Why can't we retire at the age of 60 or 50, 55? Why is it is such a taboo that the government employees have to retire at 60 and we will also retire at 60? I've seen dentists retiring at 50 as well, and I've seen dentists working at 80 as well. So the choice is individually or totally yours. But then your portfolio, your set of investments should be designed based on your investment risk, based on your goal setting, based on your liabilities in the future. So just picking up stocks on the basis of anticipation are actually going to be a loser's game for us. So then manage risk through proper insurance coverage. We all need to understand this point very clearly. Basically, insurance does what? It transfers risk against any of the unforeseen, unexpected, or undesirable events to someone else. A term plan, a disability plan, similar value, 1 CR, health insurance. Earlier, I used to say 5, now I say 5 to 8 or 5 to 10. Along with the separate critical illness coverage should be a part of your life, along with, of course, professional indemnity. And remember, insurance is not investment, and never mix the two of them, because you'll have a hangover like a whiskey and a vodka. But the unfortunate thing is that that hangover would be a few decades later. यार हमारे को तो अच्छी पॉलिसी बोल के बेची थी उसने, इसका सिर्फ यही रिजल्ट मिला, इससे ज़्यादा मेरे बैंक में पड़ा रहता, वैसे कमा लेता. We ought to realize these things in the present so that our future is not destroyed. Again, as I said, minimum professional indemnity of 10 lakhs. These days, you get a 30 lakh policy in the range of 2200. So why not take it? One headache less as well. So you can take insurance for your costly dental equipment as well. Fire and burglary insurance is available separately. There are separate riders also available. So you can pick and choose as per your need. Then the last of this decision making actionable strategies is that make investments that increase your personal and clinical practice revenue. Invest some of your money back into your practice, because again, those decisions should not be emotional based, those decisions should not be FOMO approach based, those should be practically based. Yes, this gadget, if it comes, it'll decrease my workload, it'll actually increase my revenue. So invest in the gadgets which have the potential to ease your life and also have the potential for a great ROI, which makes your patients happy as well. So I hope with the end of this third section, the post of yes and T are disappearing. That yes, I can do it. So if you have, say, gotten through the boring part of the presentation, if I say so, the next half is going to be mind-boggling and very interesting. I can assure you that. So we all know, सारा कुछ start कहाँ से होता है? गलती से. It all starts with mistakes. In questions usually lie the answers for most of us, for most of the time, for most of us. And अगर उन गलतियों को सुधार लें, the path will be good enough for us for financial growth. So let us see our biggest financial mistakes we commonly make and how can we ensure we don't make them. Sorry, avoid likha hua hai. We don't make them. And at this point, I want to tell very, very clearly, guys, life is too short to make all mistakes by yourself. So try to make some, try to learn from others' mistakes. Trust me, it is free of cost. If people can learn from others' mistakes, you need to realize that yes, I was saved by someone who actually I was willing to learn from his mistake. So trust me, I'm going to tell you a few of the financial mistakes which you can incorporate in your life and make sure you don't do it. And hop on to this interesting process. Let's begin. The FOMO approach once again. People put up again COVID times discounted. Somebody is getting tempted to go for a vacation, to buy a say big property or build a big house just because someone else posted on social media. I always say to people, सोशल मीडिया होने से पहले भी लोग वेकेशन पे जाते थे, घर बनाते थे, कार लेते थे. But if these things are happening more frequently after social media, then you really need to give yourself a reality check. If this was the aim behind all this, then we need to live our life on social media only. The likes will not fulfill your stomach. They will not feed you. They'll only give you a temporary pleasure for a short time. Then the 5-day culture is creeping up in the Western culture is creeping up in India as well. We spend a bomb on weekend parties. Ludhiana is known for weekend parties, big parties. So again, talking about the normal times, not the COVID times, but sometimes people spend so much over there they are hardly left with any money at the end of the month. The biggest failure: no track of cash flow. Where the money should go and where the money does go, there is no track. The point I just mentioned in my previous 10 actionable strategies. Very few people can keep a track of their expenses, and most of them just don't know where the money is gone. No emergency budget. We all know what happened exactly a year back. Janta curfew followed by a lockdown on 24th of March. What was the result? It was firstly for 3 weeks till 15th or 14th of April. What happened? People actually started panicking. पहले तो खुश हुए, वाह छुट्टियां आई, जिंदगी में कभी छुट्टियां नहीं आई थी, नूडल्स बनाएंगे, ओटीटी देखेंगे, स्पेशल ऑप्स रिलीज हुआ है हॉटस्टार पे, वो देखते हैं, वन ऑफ द बेस्ट वेब सीरीज बाय द वे, वो देखते हैं. बट एक हफ्ता बीता, 2 हफ्ता बीता, केसेस बढ़ने लगे. Of course, nowhere close to what it is today. We just had hardly a few thousand cases in the whole country, but the country was shut based on what was happening in US and Italy. They didn't have any funeral homes. They didn't have any places to bury people. We had a mammoth amount of population. Out of fear, the lockdown was there. But then Second week ended and third week, the dentist doctors started panicking. मैं गुजारा कहाँ से करूंगा, मेरे को पैसे कहाँ से आएंगे? People actually didn't have the emergency budget with them. The golden rule for an emergency budget, you should have at least 6 months of your expenses as your emergency budget, or 3 months of your gross income, considering 50%, as I said. So it will be one and the same almost. So people actually dip into their retirement savings, break their FDs, break their corpus. Can you believe 40% of the people broke their GPF in the whole year? 40%, which is not a small figure. Then people don't have their financial plans. Some people are investing, but in endowment plans, in policies being conveyed to them by hearsay, because they don't know their goals. I just gave you goals for a 26 to 28 or old person or a dentist, young dentist, but these goals can vary from individual to individual. Even as I gave you an example, two batchmates will not have similar goals, courtesy their set of situations, their set of problems, their set of children, or their set of liabilities. Need to understand that. Then the female's favorite, gold. All that glitters is not gold, but actually the penchant to buy a gold for our kids and maybe for us as well, especially for females. Sorry, no offense here, please. But to keep that in locker, which sees the sunlight only for twice a year, is actually digging us. Many people actually 4 साल 5 साल का बच्चा होता है, उसके लिए सोना लेके रख देते हैं, जब इसकी शादी के लिए काम आएगा. आज पैसे हैं, इसकी शादी के लिए रख लो. You gave the making charges today. 20 years down the line, your kid is 5 today. 20 years down the line, when the kid is 25, suppose she's about to be married, maybe she doesn't like the obsolete design which was common in 2020. In 2040, she doesn't like the design. So you will break that gold and buy something more, maybe putting in something additional, whatever is the cost of gold, at that time. So this approach has to be shunned away. I'm not saying for a minute to shun away with the gold part. Yes, gold has to be there as a part of your investment, but in the form of a digital gold. It can be an ETF, it can be sovereign gold bonds, or it can be a digital gold as well separately in form of gold bars. So that your gold, like a SGB, sovereign gold bond, it keeps on growing as well, gives you interest as well, has a lock-in period of just 5 years. Overall, the scheme is for 8 years. You can actually say, keep that money and the gold grows on. And when you need it, you break that SGB, get the cash and buy the gold at the time of marriage, whatever is appealing to your kid for those current times. So blocking your money for the gold, which is to be kept in locker, absolute a strict no-no for me. Then again, COVID exposed one more aspect of majority of Indians: lack of medical insurance. Initially, people were hospitalized. We all read the news. They actually got the bill of 16 to 17 lakhs for their hospitalization for COVID. We all knew it. 5 to 6 lakhs was an average for people, especially in those days. I'm talking of May to August, primarily last year. So then people actually broke their savings, dipped into their retirement corpus to say afford the medical health care cost only if they had insurance. Then there is no diversification. या सारा पैसा रियल एस्टेट में, या सारे की एफडी करा दो, या सारे का गोल्ड ले लो, या सारा अपना ट्रंक में डाल दो, कमोड में डाल दो, फॉल सीलिंग में डाल दो, सोफा कवर में डाल दो, डेंटल चेयर के नीचे डाल दो, वेयर एवर यू वांट टू. You know better where you conceal it or where you keep it is a better word. So the thing is, you have to actually diversify your investments. The bottom line aim of diversification is that even if one investment gives you less, the other can compensate for it, so that the bottom line aim is you beat the inflation. Average minimum acceptable growth should be 10%. If you keep in a FD, it is 5.5. After tax return is less than a saving bank account. How? I'll tell you in the end. Then the North Indian taboo. We all are in North India. We know it. एक ही तो बेटा मेरा है, एक ही तो बेटी मेरी. This is the approach we actually have when it comes to, say, marrying off our kids. and we spend a bomb. We know that. And the only comment out of that marriage we get is, खाना अच्छा था, हाँ ठीक था, डेकोरेशन अच्छी थी, या डीजे ने गाने बड़े अच्छे चलाए. Maybe couple of these comments. That's it. What else? And we spend a lot of amount. And we need to understand that we need to shun away this culture. Luckily, COVID restricted the gatherings to 20, 30, 50, depending upon various restrictions at various points of time. And even the North Indians were not spared. And actually, people got married at a cheaper rate. I will use that word. People got married at a cheaper rate than what they used to be in the past, in North India especially. Then we actually don't have a clarity what is an asset and what is a liability. Again, a North Indian taboo. We are fond of flaunting our latest cars. A car is not an asset. It might be a daily utility, but a luxurious car is a liability, which actually gets a depreciation as soon as it hits the road, and it keeps on depreciating. And only for social media, if you're buying, think twice again. देन वन ऑफ द मोस्ट कॉमन थिंग, मैं कल से जिम जाऊंगा, मैं कल से, मैं न्यू ईयर से ये करूंगा, मैं वो करूंगा. दैट टुमारो नेवर कम्स. रिमेंबर, जो कल के बारे में आपने कल सोचा था वो कल आज है. सो इट इज बेटर दैट यू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम टुडे. नेवर प्रोक्रास्टिनेट, नेवर डिले. Today morning only, there is a video on YouTube, a short video on YouTube by me. Procrastination, is it for me as a dentist? So do watch that video. It is a 5-6 minute video. So that tomorrow never comes. Then lack of patience. Again, the biggest variant, we have lost the time. When we lose out on time, we try to cover it by a get rich quick scheme. That is where the role of Ponzi scheme comes in. That is where the role of get rich in the stock market comes in, followed by a tip from someone. And people actually lose their lifetime of savings. And they don't understand that you need to use the top floor of their body rather than trusting someone else blindly. The top floor means the brain. So depending upon others for investments, we are actually doctors. We need to know that we have cleared our say entrance tests, most of us, majority of us, and got through admission in the medical dental colleges. And then we are supposed to be the brightest brains in the country. But when it comes to investments, we do it on hearsay. We ask someone to manage our money. This is the time actually we need to understand that we are doing it in a wrong way. Then getting too greedy, investing blindly just to get a good fortune overnight. The root cause is greed. Then wasting your time on unproductive things. We all know the matrix of urgent, important, urgent and not important, not urgent but important, and the last category, not urgent, not important. And the social media falls in that. Rather than developing your skill set, learning new things, people actually waste their time on social media and YouTube, watching videos which have no relevance or no use to them. Yes, if you're doing these things for developing your skill set, developing, acquiring new skills, nothing wrong in it. But if you're using just it for pastime, then you're actually wasting your precious time of the day. So to enjoy a long, comfortable retirement life, save more today. So Warren Buffett said, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. Save mindlessly, spend consciously. We actually do the reverse. We spend mindlessly and save very, very, very consciously. And that is the basic mistake that we do. So the basics of FIRE are important. Don't worry, I'm not going to transport you into the Stoneman era. FIRE means financial independence and early retirement for your alternate RIP. Again, this alternate RIP term has been coined by me only. People ask me, RIP का मतलब तो rest in peace. ये alternate RIP क्या होता है? Plan for your alternate RIP, retirement investment planning, before you actually rest in peace. For your loved ones, for the ones you care. We saw in this pandemic, people were struggling as good as even 3 weeks, or some were after less than 30 days when the second lockdown was inserted for 3 or 4 weeks. So many people ask me, what They asked me, messaged me, called me in those times last year. What can be our alternate income other than dentistry? मैंने आपसे शुरू के कुछ स्लाइड्स में पूछा था, or never have one income, always have a second source of income. So what can be your second source of income? Investment and compounding. Compounding is your passive income or your alternative income. The money that you have for your corpus starts giving back you money. That is the time you need to understand that yes, your alternate income has been automatically created. But इसके लिए rule बहुत simple है. The sooner you start investing, the more time your money has to grow. Compounding का सबसे बड़ा variant ही यही है. So the time will continue to come back and haunt you because it is the biggest warrant. And time lost will never come back once it is lost. So you need to understand that we ought to start as early as possible. And this is one of the biggest mistakes. People actually have no idea about the power of compounding. And they don't start saving early because of this very simple reason. Albert Einstein once said that compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who have it, they earn it. Those who don't, they lose it. Then buying stocks based on tips without any knowledge. You can open all sorts of news channels and you will find so many experts giving you so much of knowledge, and even on social media as well. आज ये शेयर ऊपर जाएगा. Nobody can time the market. Nobody can predict the market. People fall into this trap of these people and they invest money without any knowledge. End result, they end up losing everything that they have. Then becoming a victim of lifestyle inflation. Again, powered by the FOMO approach. Upgrading your car, upgrading your house, 2 BHK to 3 BHK, 2 members of the family. The nuclear culture is already there in most of the societies. You move from 2 BHK to 3 BHK just to flaunt. And we become slave of our lifestyle. And lifestyle inflation starts destroying our financial lives. And then urgent but not important category. The great Indian sale, the big billion days on Flipkart and Amazon. We buy things because they are on discount. And that is our biggest mistake. We are actually made to believe that this is a one-time offer and it will never come back in life. The funny thing is that every other month, the same sale is there once again under a different name. So the problems are the FOMO approach and the YOLO approach. Fear of missing out and you only live once philosophy. And I always say, FOMO walo, YOLO walo, Yago bhi aayega, Sank bhi aayega. Yago means you also grow old. And senile age is never kind. We all are majority self-employed. Even those who are not self-employed working in colleges, we are not going to get any pension. So whatever we save is going to only help us, or whatever you are investing is going to help us. Trust me, it is a very, say, cumbersome life, very difficult time to ask for money from your kids, begging in front of them literally. And the kids might not be really, say, interested in what we are trying to say. And that is the reason we need to understand and make ourselves independent for the future. And then along with real estate, one of the biggest approach, the mindset also needs to change. People love to live on a conservative approach of investment. I'll try to bust those myths today. They'll say, corpus आया उसकी FD करा दो ब्याज खाते रहेंगे. Or some would keep the cash at home. Let me give you a brief insight into that. Let's say the average return over investment of an FD is 6%, although it is 5.5, 5.6, but I'm presuming it on the higher side, 6%. So you need money. less for that slab, because if it is for 1 year and you're breaking it in 5 months, that the bank gives you a slab for 7 to 15, 15 to 30, 30 to 45, then 45 to 90, 90 to 180, 180 to 270, and 270 to 365 days, because every slab will have lesser interest. So if the 365-day slab at 6%, which I have already presumed on the higher side, probably the 5 month slab would be less than 180. So that might be 4.5%. Again, I'm presuming that on the higher side. Let's presume that is 5%. So you lose the cumulative advantage, because anything above 6 months will get a compounding or a cumulative advantage. So what is the tax percentage? 5% at 30%. You are getting 5% return. If you are in the 30% tax slab, 1.5 would be your tax over your return. So your actual return is 5 minus this 5 minus 1.5, 3.5%. Since you have broken the FD prematurely, the bank would charge you a penalty over it as well, which is usually 1%. The effective return is 2.5%, less than your saving bank account. And trust me, this figure comes presuming this at 6%, which actually is not there in today's times. So if anybody still says FD is good, I'm very much ready to have an open debate with him. If this is giving you this much amount of return, effective return would be much less than this. Remember, people try to buy over an excuse कि हम तो 20% slab में आते हैं. What will decrease? 0.5. यहाँ पे 3 आ जाएगा. Extend कर लो. Doesn't make much of a difference. Effective return आपकी 2-2.25% ही आएगी. 2%, is it really viable? रियल एस्टेट में बहुत पैसा है. रियल एस्टेट कुछ ना कुछ देके जाती है. Again, I'll be busting that myth as well. So the problem, again, the reverse of the Warren Buffett philosophy, we are not disciplined in our investments. We actually invest what is left after spending. People do tell me, sir, पैसे नहीं बचते हैं, invest कहाँ से करें? Because you're not disciplined. You don't monitor your expenses. You don't track your expenses. You don't follow the budgeting principles. You don't actually follow the 50-30-20 or the 45-15-40 principle. So the root cause is always that we all lack the knowledge about personal financial management. And trust me, an investment in knowledge will always pay the best interest. So then if compounding is your passive income, what are the other sources? How to think of financial stability? What are the second income sources? If we need to explore those, what can they be? Mutual funds, FDRs, fixed deposits or FD, NCDs, non-convertible debentures, corporate bonds, property, PPF, post office schemes, national pension system or new pension system, commodity trading. These are a few options. Every option comes with some amount of side effects. You need to understand. Ayushmann Khurrana's movies are one of the perfect examples of that. Every investment will have some flaws in it. Of course, there will be certain things good about it, and what suits me might not suit you or your unique situation, because financial strategies will depend upon your unique situation and your liabilities. And all these sectors that I mentioned, which you need to explore, will require white money. Property will anyways give you 0.5%. Money is blocked. You buy a shop for 1 crore and the rental would be 50,000. Is it a good return? So at this point, I want to bust, along with the FD, I want to bust the myth of the real estate as well to an extent. People's actual perceptions are very good about it. The problem is that actually we don't need to we need to realize that property might have grown to what you want, but when you urgently need it, the money is rarely available. Then you might have to sell it at a discount. जो आपको 50 का 100 मिल रहा था, आपको शायद 80 में सेल करना पड़े. What it has actually done is it might have given you the liquid, but you have undergone 20% of discount. What is that 20% which you have gone for discount? That is your growth. So that means you are the purpose for which you have invested in the property is defeated totally. And it takes an event like demonetization or बहुत देर से घोर बंदा है प्रॉपर्टी में अप्रोच to bring home the risks of an illiquid asset. It is an illiquid asset in today's times. You might be really lucky if your investment is sold off when you really need it. Unfortunately, this does not hold good for most of us. And that is where the problem comes. As I gave you an example, shop for 1 crore, the rent is barely 50%, 50,000, 0.5%. So you can grow more in white. Why are we looking at such avenues which are going to give us very, very lesser returns? Just the mindset. जो चीज पहले अच्छी थी वो अब अच्छी नहीं है. पहले चिजल मैलेट से भी दांत निकालते थे, अब नहीं निकालते हैं. Most of the times things change. Technology has taken over in many aspects, and change is the dynamic process which we need to understand. And as I say, आगे की बात और थी. Black money could be invested in property or real estate. Now, I'll give you example of 3 dentists who have actually 20 lakhs of money as capital. One of them has 20 lakh white. The other has, second one has 10 lakh white plus 10 lakh black. The third one has 5 lakh white plus 15 lakh black. Presuming that at the end of 10 years, they keep on earning the same amount. Let's presume, of course, factually not possible, but looking at the scenario, if they keep earning the same amount for the next 10 years, who will have more money? Your guess is as good as mine. The guy who has 20 lakh white, because his money will be added in that white corpus continually and that will grow for 10 years. His money will also grow, but 50% of what it is. And his money will also grow, but 25% of what it is. He might not reach even 20, even 12 lakhs at the end of 10 years. He might reach 60 or 70 as well. This is the power of compounding. Because if you earn well, then this whole story boils down to कि white income कहाँ से आएगी? White income आएगी जब आप कमाते हैं, no doubt. We all earn well. COVID times discounted. We all have hard time, many of us. But let's talk about the normal situation. Even we had a normal world from August, September to almost till the month of February or even mid-March. We had a normal, most of us had normal OPDs except November. So, or close to normal. So if you're earning and not showing that income, that means you are actually putting in less in white. And the lesser white you have, the lesser it will grow. The more white you will have, the more it will grow. If you don't pay tax, you will still have money, but that money will be black, dead, and blocked. And obviously, you losing your sleep over a demonetization 2.0. कहीं आ गई तो, कहीं मोदी का दिमाग घूम गया तो, no disrespect, but this is a possibility sometimes, which is there inherent in our mind. So the choice is yours. Plus, you are losing out on 2 counts. The money which you should have invested or which was growing in white, even at a conservative percentage of 6, 7, 8, 10%, whatever, that is still growing. But the money which is there in your closet, wherever you have kept it, that is going to go down in your value. Rupees 1000 in 2010 carries a value of rupees 710 rupees in 2020. In 10 years, it has lost close to 300 rupees or almost 1/3. That is the effect of say inflation. The money loses its value. जो 1000 अगर इन्वेस्ट किया हुआ था वो 10 साल में शायद क्लोज टू 1500 1800 हो गया हो, supposing with a conservative approach even, but the one which is black is now 700 in value. Imagine the relative difference between the two amounts. The basic logic works in the format of the principles of Einstein's theory of relativity. Two trains going in opposite direction at the speed of 60. The person in train A thinks that my train is stagnant and the other train is moving, other train is moving at the speed of 120. So 1000 in black is losing its value, the other is growing. So the relative difference should have been 300. It is actually almost the double. 700 and 1800, almost 2.5 times. Just in 10 years, just with the say factor of inflation coming in. So if you have money, we all have money, we all have been earning money since many years. If you have black, trust me, it is dead and blocked. It is not going to come handy in your retirement corpus. That is just for your mental satisfaction. हाँ मेरे पास पैसा है, वो काम आ रहा है. But then it is going to reduce in value very soon. There is a huge difference in expectation and reality. And that is actually what happens in industry also, and that is what happens in finance also. So to inspire others, you must first inspire yourself. So what are the optimum things for becoming rich? Security part, first the term plan should be there for 1 crore and a similar disability insurance, along with a professional indemnity of 10 to 30 lakhs. A mediclaim of 5, now 5 to 8 or 8 to 5 to 10, I will say. Some real estate only as a second source of income, not for the source of investment. Emergency fund 5 to 8 lakhs or close to your 6 months of expenses, whatever you feel. Some gold and silver if you can, minimum 5 lakhs, or any other secondary income like rental, pension, money back, endowment plan, or whatever you can think of. So what most people think actually, that money grows in a line. The more money you have, the more money you will make. What rich people actually know, that money grows exponentially after a period of time. And after a certain period of time, money starts making money itself. And that is the power of compounding. So want to know where should we invest? सारी रामायण पढ़ा दी लेकिन ये नहीं बताया कि सीता कहाँ मिलेगी. So let's come to that. I have a formula for that going by my name also. Again, based on age, I have segregated. For 25 to 35, I advise 70% in equity funds, 20 in government schemes, and 10% in miscellaneous. Because for the age related thing, we always follow the formula 100 minus age. If you are 30 years old, taking the average for 25 to 35, your 70 should go in your equity, which is slightly risky, but surely will give you good returns. If you don't want to be so adventurous and having risk-taking ability, still you can follow the principle of 80 minus your age. So minimum 50% still should go in your equity, and the remaining can be distributed accordingly. 35 to 45, the same thing, 15 equity, 13 government, and 20 in miscellaneous ones. And as you grow old from 45 to 45, 13 equity, 14 government, and 13 miscellaneous schemes. So this is my preferred way of investment, although the experts will vary. How much amount to invest? I always say minimum 40,000 per month or annual 5 lakh should be there for a decent earning dentist. This should be the reasonable or the minimum amount which should go. You should not be looking at the tax saving part. Tax saving to 1.5 lakh PPF या 80C में डाल के plus 50,000 in NPS separately 2 लाख पे खत्म हो जाती है. Maybe medical insurance आप ले लेंगे अपने लिए तो 25,000 more. So that will stop it there only. But you have, again, the few slides were about taking a look at a wide angle. Don't be myopic in your approach. If you balance these above things, you will be a rich person. But then start कहाँ से होगा? Clinic से. Charge more, especially for premium services in your clinic. like a tooth whitening, like a zirconia, like a metal free crown, or a similar approach. But if you don't charge more even for your premium services, where will you earn from? You need to realize that. Millions of trees in this world are accidentally planted by squirrels who bury nuts, then forget where they hid them. So invest and forget, it too will actually and accidentally compound. So coming to the end of the today's session, summary for today, given you various sections depending upon where to income should come from, what should be the before that the Warren Buffett quotes to be applied in dentistry, where should the income come from, along with actionable strategies, the most common mistakes. Let's discuss the summary of today's session. So Warren Buffett said, I bought my first shares at the age of 14 and I think I was 3 years too late. Don't look at what he invested. Don't look at stocks or the shares part. Think about investment, because the biggest variant here is the time. The time lost, what he thinks was, I lost 3 years in that. So if you're 40 and if you have not still started actively investing for your corpus, trust me, you're not too late, but yes, a little bit late, surely. Most of us are self employed, even who are employed in colleges will not be having any pension. Majority of us don't want to die early, so we should charge well and earn well accordingly. We are always dependent on other people like friends and family members and colleagues for advice. Even many of the advisors are product sellers actually. अपने पेशेंट होते हैं, they actually try to act as financial planners and wealth managers, and हमारे को पॉलिसी चिपका जाते हैं बहुत बार. Don't rely always on your CA. Be financially literate yourself. That has been my goal. That has been my aim, and that has been my dream project only as well. Financial literacy for every dentist in India. Of course, I'm very far away from that dream. Let's hope I get close to when I stop doing this. So start with the basics, slowly build on that, and always remember, sky will be the limit. So if you are feeling sleepy, my last few slides are always the carry home gyan, the points which you have to carry home, which will serve you as a food for thought for the remaining week and the weekend following that. We should all strive to retire early. It is very difficult to lead a sorrowful old life asking for money from your kids. And self dependence is the biggest gift that we can give ourselves. Be what you are. Don't follow the herd mentality. Don't invest on hearsay. Do your own research. We have to time. It is the time to change old thoughts for investment like FD, like property, like other things of your life. If you're not still watching the CRT, the old television sets, or your CRT monitors in your practice, or similar things, you need to realize that you evolved from there, from LED to plasma to CRT to, say, now LED TVs, from LCD as well, and to LED screens in your computer screens as well. You need to apply the same thought to your investment approach as well. So think about it. The future is in your hands. If you want to burn or break your back and neck, remember the tough times you have while you were earning. Remember the tough times you can have if your money that you are not investing is not built up, if you don't have a retirement corpus growth wise. अपने पैसे के लिए दर्द जगाइए. कमाना मुश्किल है लेकिन संभालना इक्वली मुश्किल है. If it still does not shake you up, I'm sorry I wasted the last 80 minutes of your time. Please pardon me for that. So the moral of the whole story, the last section, do not spend more than what you can make. Don't go into debt to impress others. Actively invest and track your cash flow, and don't buy depreciating assets which can eat up into your corpus. You can pay tax and still get white. Tax maximum what we pay is 20 to 30%. Remember, 70-80 is much more than 20 to 30. Don't look at tax saving of 1.5 of ATC. That is tax saving approach. Create wealth. WC approach, not the TS approach, tax saving approach. Why Indians don't look at tax saving? Because 70% of the people who invest in ATC पहले तो कितने परसेंट इंडियंस रिटर्न फाइल करते हैं? 7%, 7 करोड़ रिटर्न आती हैं, सॉरी, नॉट 7%, बट 7 करोड़ रिटर्न आर फाइल्ड, जस्ट अबाउट 5% ऑफ इंडियंस। एंड उसमें से कितनी जीरो टैक्स होती हैं? जितनी बनती हैं, 5 करोड़ रिटर्न्स बची, उसमें से भी 70% लोग, 3.5 करोड़ लोग, दे डू नॉट इन्वेस्ट fully under Section 80C. This is not the data by me. This is the data by the RBI or the government of India. So they don't even invest fully under 1.5. That is the reason the government brought out the NTR, the new tax regime. So don't aim at tax creation, look at wealth creation. You can save more. And wealth creation is a concept which should never be alien to anyone. So I hope my webinar was of some use to you. Thank you so much. And a few announcements before I stop my screen for share. This is my address, contact. If you have any queries, you can get in touch with me on my cell phone, my email. So as Dr. Chug also mentioned, I have a YouTube channel by my name. The link is there. All my social media presence is by Dr. Bhavdeep. If you still lose the link, just go and search YouTube and Dr. Bhavdeep Ojan. You can subscribe and hit the bell icon. Currently, there are more than 200 videos on my YouTube channel, and there are a many lined up right from 2nd of May. Lot of many webinars, and those are the various topics which have never been taken up for discussion. Those webinars already have happened. I've just scheduled them from 2nd of May, and they'll be going up till most likely 15 June. So every alternate day, you'll be having a video. So and my social media presence by my name only. You can get in touch with me. So one thing I always appreciate is the feedback. So do send me your feedback on my cell number on or in the WhatsApp group. Bookers and Brickbats both would be welcome in equal measure from all of you. Thank you once again, and it is the time for questions. And I hope I stuck to my time of 90 minutes. Yes, it was over in 84 minutes. So thank you so much for being patient, being a patient audience. And the forum is open for your queries. You can unmute yourself and ask any queries.
First of all, I would like to have a huge round of applause for such a knowledge sharing from Dr. Pardeep Singh
Thank you.
Ahuja. Yes. So, any query, most welcome. You can unmute yourself and ask any question if you want. Dr. Sethi, you want to ask something?
So one question is where to invest in mutual fund, or in which mutual fund we should invest. So the market is full of people who are like of different opinion. कि इसमें कर दो, उसमें कर दो, depending upon कहाँ उनका tie up है. This is a major issue.
Yes, this is a major issue, but we are lucky that there is a lot of good information available on internet, and a lot of that is unbiased as well. You can search multiple sites. You can ask me. I'll send you the fund names. I always advise actually to the basic principle is very simple. We are lucky that we have a local stock exchange over here, but even for people who don't have it, the simplest, there can be multiple ways, but the simple way can be hire AMC or through say any advisor, get one lump sum fund of 5,000 rupees, any fund, again depending upon what you choose. You can ask me, you can search on net, whatever it is, and get your KYC done with NSDL or the central KRA agency. Once your KYC is done, and usually it takes about 10 to 14 days. Once your KYC is done, start investing yourself right from the comfort of your home, directly through the fund house website. Opt for a direct approach, growth approach. That is the best approach. There are multiple ways. You can even, the first thing can be done online. You can submit the documents, but I told you just the easiest way. एक 5,000 का lump sum खरीदिए, उसके बाद KYC हो जाए, then your PAN would be KYC compliant, and then go about the task of buying those funds online yourself direct, rather than the regular ones. In the regular ones, you'll be paying certain commission to the agent or the AMC, but then this is the way you can keep a tab over your expenses. You can keep a tab over your funds and your growth potential as well. Yep.
Thank you.
Just an extension to this question.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an extension to this question, whether it is wise to invest in an IPO or a mutual fund.
100% mutual fund. 100%. IPO is just like a gambling. You might be lucky, but not always.
It is better, always better to invest in a mutual fund.
If you weigh the pros and the cons simultaneously in all the approaches, overall approach, unbiased one.
Sir, one question from my side. Nowadays, this ETF thing is coming up. So, a comparison between mutual funds and ETFs. Is it like we should go for both? Are the ETFs a higher return thing than the mutual fund thing, or mutual fund investment is good enough? And especially in mutual funds, also the tax saver mutual funds, they are very, very low in return. So, is it good to invest in
No.
tax saver
No,
mutual
no.
funds, or
one of the topmost two of the topmost fund, Parag Parekh tax saver fund and Canara Robeco tax saver fund are one of the highest returnees. They are in the top 10 itself. If you ignore the Mirai Asset and the Quant funds, if you ignore the two of them, which are very difficult to do online, so the tax saver do give a good return. Some of the ALSS actually have a very huge return. But yes, if you choose between that and this, I will say the answer can be index funds also. Index funds can give you close to, they can beat the index as well most of the times. But then it is a individual choice. You can go as per the set parameters. You can go by your sentimental choice. But sometimes, as I always say, there is no place for sentiments. And when it comes to finance, you have to think from your top floor rather than the organ in the left side of your body near your arm. That means the heart.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great. So any other query? Yes, Dr. Chuk.
I think Dr. Atanji's query from where to earn money is now settled down.
That was already taken up at the start. I expected this thing to happen because of the 2 lakh cases. This was the section I added today only. The rest of the presentation was ready 2 days back, but that section of 15, 16 slides I added today morning only. When I saw the news that 2 lakh cases say hurt India.
Sir, post-COVID, please, one physical presentation, special request, sir. If like it was very nice to listen to all this, but the numerical solving part, and it arouses you directly when you solve those numericals.
We did the numericals in the last lecture when
exactly.
Yeah.
So every time when we learn, it's a new experience. So once this COVID thing ends, we would love to have it physically once again. If you can surely spare some time for us.
I'm all open for my branch again for the
With PP
office
or without PP?
Dr. Harsimran, why are you hiding? Like we want to see your beautiful face. Yeah.
Unmute yourself.
So sorry, sir. I hope the reason is quite clear. With the little one. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
तो पक्का हो गया पोस्ट कोविड के बाद एक पक्का एक बार वो वाला लेक्चर करेंगे.
So with this, we are coming to end of this beautiful session. And now I would like to request Dr. Grover to please give the closing remarks also. And after that, the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bhavdeep, for taking time out and giving us such knowledgeable ideas about investing also, and also managing our profitable income effectively. So we all are very happy and glad, and we had quite a few number of people listening to you on Facebook as well. So I hope everyone will gain something from it. There was a lot of things to take home. And I thank my coordinators, my city convener, Dr. Chuk, he took a lot of effort in putting up this city. My secretary has always thankless job, but yes, he's also has taken time out enough number of times in getting this virtual city done. My coordinators, Dr. Manjot, he always takes care of the digital things, the Facebook page and etc., so that no things doesn't go haywire. So all in all, I thank my EC team, my IDA branch. Thank you all for everyone who were listening to it and who took time out and came out and listened to this very nice information.
And a special thanks to our Khanna branch and the President Khanna branch, Dr. Rohit Arora, who is with us. And some few remarks, last closing remarks from Dr. Rohit, please.
Thank you, Dr. It was very here and there, and Dr. Bhavdeep has given us the right direction, so we'll definitely apply over it. Thank you, everyone, Ludhiana IDEA as well as Dr. Bhavdeep. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rohit.
Next time we will have a grand show with you and in collaboration with the Khanna branch, surely. And thank you for participating with us. And with this, I would like to now, Dr. Chuk, want to say something? Okay. So with this, we end up the today's show, and surely we will meet up next time with the new CD program very soon, and that too will be the virtual one only, because this COVID wave does not seems to be get down before May. So and we will be live on FB page also, and we have a YouTube page of Idea Ludhiana also, and thanks to Dr. Bhavdeep for that also. And we will be sharing this video on the YouTube page also. Thank you once again very much, and good night, everyone.
Good night.
Unmute.
Good night.
Good night. Take care, everyone.
Bye.